Hi, my name is Wolkowinski and I'm very excited about the up and coming workshops that I've got in Italy and in the USA in Wilton. Now, I wanted to make a video for people who have registered, who have never swung a mace before and have never used Indian clubs before. This video is intended to prepare you for the workshops. And there are certain movements that you can start doing now just in your daily training. They don't take a lot of time and they will really help you during the workshops. So here we go. Number one. I call these wrist or palm push downs. And basically what I'm after doing here is making sure that the shoulders go, they're nice and straight, that your back's straight. And these are, because we're all sitting down and we're all over our phones. So this one is here, the palm pushes down and it pulls the shoulders straight, nice and easy like that. So 1, 2, fingers go forward, here, 3, 4, and 5. If you can do that exercise a few times a day, it'll really help you, because it's all about getting the right posture, and that's number one that's going to help you a lot. Here's exercise number 2, and has to do with transverse turns. So in the Indian clubs and in the mace, we work on the frontal plane, which is side to side, and then on the sagittal plane, which is to the front and to the back. So basically sagittal and then frontal here. This exercise is basically about walking. All I want you to do is to put your heels together and just swing your arms like this. And now basically the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to extend our arms further and further back up to shoulder height. Up to shoulder height. Twisting as we go. And it doesn't have to be done fast. Just nice and easy, about 5 or 6 times, a few times a day. With this exercise, you can also add a little bit of weight. And I've got a couple of bottles of drinks bottles, Pellegrino, not that I'm advertising, but there's a smaller bottle depending on your strength, or there's a slightly bigger one. And what I'd like you to do is basically, I'd like you to grab hold of the bottle by putting the opening into your palm here and grabbing hold of the bottle like this. And that's basically very close to the saber grip that you'll be using both in the Indian clubs part and in the mace part of the workshop. And I'm going to take 2 of them now, and exactly the same thing. So first of all, we're just walking heels together, starting to walk, swing now the bottle's up. I've got rice in these, that's the sound that you can hear. It can be water, doesn't matter. And now start to turn. As the bottles fly up to the side, you'll feel that they become weightless. And then as they come down, they gain in speed and they swing through in the pendulum to the other side. So there's the movement there. Shoulder height this side, shoulder height that side. It's a really good exercise. So just to recap, start off with just with your hands on their own and get the body moving, the transverse turn moving. And then if you can, either take a smaller bottle or a larger one full of water or rice like I've got here, and have a swing. The thoracic turn, the transverse turn, is the most important part of that. And it's also working your shoulders, getting them nice and prepared for swinging clubs and mace. Here comes number 3. So for this exercise, what I'd like you to do is to basically go into a deep squat. So, feet slightly wider apart than the shoulders, and then knees tracking over the shoulders into a squat here. If you're unstable with this, it's a good idea, you can do it against the door, for example. So hold on to something and just literally go down into a squat and stay there for a count of 10 maybe, and just get used to the movement, because your hips have to be fluid. You must be able to move them particularly for the mace. A little bit more, less for the clubs, but more for the mace. So that's exercise number 3. Again, a few times, maybe once or twice a day. If you can do that, that'd be fantastic. I'll list everything underneath this video. Here we go with number 4, Angel's Arm Raise. First of all, get your feet shoulder width apart, or hips apart. And now with your palms facing into your hips, move your both arms at the same time up to shoulder height and up to the top. And here, in this position here, your biceps should be touching your ears. So if you move your hands forwards and backwards, they should be touching your ears. If you're arching to the back, if you're arching like this, trying to get your hands up, we'll need to get some more exercises done, and I'm going to leave a comment in the description below because you'll need to do what's called a supine arm raise and a quadruped arm raise. That'll really help you. I have another video on my channel that explains them in detail, so I'm not going to do them in this particular video. Anyway, now what else do you need to do? So once you're in this position, raising your arms up, you breathe in, and when your arms come down, you breathe out. So in, out, in, out, in, out. You're probably noticing now I'm starting to turn my palms up as they go up, round, and then back down again. It's almost like doing the breaststroke. So 5 of these to the sides, and then the same sort of thing, but to the front. For the front version, the sagittal version, you have to bring your feet in slightly closer together, but it's the same thing. So arms raising, the thumbs are up, to the back and down, breathing the same. So in and out, in and out. So if you do both combinations, 5 of one, 5 of the other, and then if you're really wanting to do a little bit more, and this is quite important because Indian clubs in particular, there's a lot of mental work to do. And if you're feeling particularly adventurous, you can try a combination of the 2. So what happens is here, my right is going to go up at the front, left up at the side, meeting at the top, coming down the opposite way, rising the same way as they came up, and then down on the other side. Just a little bit of mental gymnastics to prepare you for Indian clubs, because there's a lot to think about. Number 5 is a fist and finger stretch, and basically I'm going to come up to the camera so that you can see what I'm doing here. I want you to make fists up like this and just hold it. Clench them and hold them. 30 seconds or so, and then let your fingers come right out and stretch them out like crazy. Really, really important. And close them again and stretch them out. And so out that way and to the back. So I mean they're pushing back here and they're pushing across that way. So out and in, out and in. There's a lot of grip work in both disciplines, Indian clubs and mace. And your dexterity in your fingers is really important. So it's something you need to practice. But you can do this anywhere if you think about it. I mean, even if you're standing in a queue somewhere, what can you do? You can clench your fists, open, close, open, close. So open, close, open, close. Okay, number 6 coming up. The next one's wrist stretches, a little bit more handwork again. Basically this one I like to do, basically the thumb goes underneath the wrist here, supporting the wrist. The other fingers of the other hand from the top keeping your arms straight and pulling. So you can see that my arm is now parallel to the floor and it's stretching the forearm nicely through here. There. Very, very important. So do one side and then the other. You see the thumb position there? Okay. Now the next exercise again is mobility, wrist mobility. Again, in the Indian clubs and mace work, you're going to have a lot of this. So you clench your fingers together like this. And I'll do it from the front and then I'll do it from the side. Now arms are straight, turning your hands over. Now I'm going to push with my top arm, pull with my bottom one, roll them over, figure of 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, and just relax. Okay, and here it is from the side. So I'm just going to make sure that you've got white behind me. So now again, the fingers are clasped together, pushing from the top and pulling from the bottom. Push and pull, push and pull, push and pull, push and pull. And now you can reverse it. You can push below and pull from the top, and that looks like this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then just shake your hands out. It's fantastic for just getting all the synovial fluid, all those fluids in your wrist and your fingers and everything else going. That and the fist and finger stretch, really, really important, and you can practice those anywhere. Now we're going to move on to number 7. Now this is to do with a movement that in Indian clubs is really important, and basically if you have a look at my arms now, they're kind of creating a rectangle with my head, the arms and so on, and I want to be able to touch my elbows, keeping my back straight so I'm not rounding my back. I don't want this to happen, that to happen. So your biceps have to be level with the floor here and here again. And I call this basically kissing your elbows. So your elbows have to touch. They have to say hello to each other. So again, in this position here, so I'm going to, show your muscles off, and then basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Fantastic, it opens you up, and this is basically very, very important for the back circle in Indian club work. And I can't tell you how, because basically from here, if I now just to sort of give you a bit of an explanation, if the thumb is the club, and I'll demonstrate this with the club in a minute, the minute I turn my elbow in, the club or the thumb points in the opposite direction. So here we go, here's a demonstration of it now. So the thumb or the club is pointing outwards, rotate the arm inwards. And this is used for the back circle, which is here. If you have a look at the movement here, there's the movement, the elbow coming forward. It's not a movement that we do every day. Fantastic to practice it before the workshop. So number 8 is the tricep side stretch and rotation. Again, I'm focusing, you've done a little bit of transverse turns before, and now I want you to do them again. Basically, you hook your arm up into this position here, and now pulling and turning at the same time. My feet are together, just so that you can see them in the camera. Feet are together, turning as far as you can go around. And that's like 1, 2, turning your head at the same time, looking over your shoulder, 3, 4, then you'll find that you'll be able to move further and further round with each movement as your back loosens up. Again, the elbow point goes into the elbow on the other side. So you're hooked up, and I'm going to the other side now. Hands completely relaxed. 1, 2, looking over my shoulder. 3, 4, and 5. A nice hard push around to the side. Okay, so that's the triceps side stretch. And then number 9 is going to be the overhead triceps stretch, which is also very important. With side stretch. So this one basically, I'm sure most people will know this. You know, you try and keep your shoulders nice and square, back straight, neutral, and pulling the triceps back as far as you go. That's what it should look like from the back. So the hands reaching down the back as far as possible. And I'll start from here. And now pulling to the side. Feet shoulder width apart. Holding that position for a few seconds, about 10 seconds or so. Straightening up. Changing sides. Same thing again. Also, the triceps needs to be stretched out, and I'll show you why. Because in mace work, one of the things you have to be able to do is to have a load on. So now, if you practice that for a little bit, just doing the normal stretch, and then maybe get a broom, you could possibly tape a water bottle or something to it and do a hanging tricep stretch. So it's loaded. So here now, I'm in this situation here. Now I'm not going to bend to the side with this one, but I'm just going to bring my other hand up, get the triceps pulled over as much as possible. Now I want you to notice something, that I'm only holding the handle with 3 fingers, and the forefinger is wrapped gently round, and the thumb's basically having a holiday. Very, very important. So there's the fully loaded tricep stretch, and it's a good idea obviously to do it on both sides. Just pulling my arm over like so. So those are the sort of stretching and preparation exercises I'd like you to do. They're all as important as each other. You could do one a day or be thinking about them, but if you can do them multiple times during the day, that'd be fantastic. I look forward to seeing you all at the workshop. It's going to be one hell of an event, lots of fun and lots of learning, and I'm just basically very excited. I can't tell you enough how excited I am. So just to finish it off, I'm going to do a quick swing with Indian clubs first, and I'll finish off with the mace. So this is called a parallel swing, which you'll be doing a lot of, and you'll be learning how to do it both two-handed. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then changing sides. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and now a little bit of mace. And I want you to have a look at something almost now, because I'm going to be telling you this during the workshop. The similarity of these movements. 3, 4, and change. 1, 2, 3, 4, and change. 1, 2, 3, 4, and change. 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, and change. 1, 10 to 2s. That was 360s. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8.